Well, good morning, guys. Today we're going on a special adventure. Technical difficulties loading it. I only put 2 screws in the ski, so I've got to attach the ski back on and then get the panels back on there and get rid of these bollards because they're in the road. But once that's done, it's going to be clear sailing to the encampment. Well, good morning, guys. If you're just joining me and you're wondering what the heck I'm doing, well, I'll tell you what. I've been reading in the news, watching the news, listening to the news, and seeing it with my own 2 eyes. The housing crisis that is occurring in Canada right now is insane. Not to mention the price of housing is also gone a little bit nutty. So bring you guys up to date. Essentially like a single family dwelling in Canada right now is about, if you want to get anything decent, anywhere in the neighborhood is like $800,000 to $1 million to get yourself a house, and that is generally speaking with multiple offers in some of the major metropolitan areas. Now that's crazy, and the problem is that there's just simply not enough houses. There's homelessness everywhere. Downtowns of all the major cities, there's tent cities popping up all over the place, and homelessness is a really big problem right now, and I don't think there's enough being done about it. So what I've done is I have come up with a little bit of a plan and a solution to the homelessness crisis by creating my own little portable homeless shelter. It's modeled after a little bit of it's modeled after something I saw out of Germany, which provides homeless a warm place to basically lay their head down at nighttime in order to get away from the elements. So this is my solution to homelessness. Running out of snow. Gotta get some more snow. Running out of snow. Well, I was thinking about this spot, but now that I get here, it sounds a little bit too busy. This is more like a Steve Wallace spot than a modern Self-Reliance spot. I kind of want to get a little bit more upriver where it's got a little bit more snow. Dragging this thing on the grass is something else. Like, it needs snow. I thought there was going to be more snow, but maybe it needs wheels or something like that. Probably look into that. Some wheels for summertime traveling. There hasn't been that much snow this year, but anyways, I was kind of like, this is not like, it's not a bad spot. Like, it's covered, it's sheltered, so you wouldn't get any kind of weather getting you, but you don't know if the riffraff's coming to get you. You know, there's graffiti underneath the bridge. It is quiet, although it probably gets pretty windy in here. It's not the ideal location for a fire because the smoke would kind of draw the attention of others, and you don't really want to start a fire under a bridge. So anyways, this is an option, but I'm gonna head probably more upriver, get some snow area just to have this thing slide, because otherwise I ain't moving this thing. Well, you can see somebody's had a fire here at another time, so I don't know how they got away with it. They got like probably smoke coming up over top of the highway. Obviously there's some graffiti going on under here, so there has been some people. You can see looks like another actually location for a fire. So I guess somebody did have a fire here. What's that? I don't want to touch it. That's one of those survival bands. That's kind of neat. I don't really want to take it. Like, it's got the paracord survival band. Huh. Somebody's probably looking for that. I'll leave it there. Still got the little clip thing on and everything. Huh. Well, leave it there. Over here, this is kind of the idea where I was thinking of camping. It's kind of like it's a quieter spot, flat spot. Got some more snow. We're closer to the river, further away from people, and it's kind of like a nice spot to kind of settle down, get your stuff. There's actually access to some firewood near the edges, some like dead standing stuff that'd be easier to burn, because otherwise burning green wood just doesn't work. And over there's really no access to firewood, so probably upriver that way. There's like a little bit of a trail over there. I'm gonna head down that way in order to get to it, and hopefully it'll be a little quieter upstream. a pretty nice spot. I think I'll put it together here, and if I don't like it here, it is on skis, I can move it to another location. Maybe it'll actually travel better once it's assembled. I think my ground clearance isn't quite enough, and trying to pivot it isn't the easiest over kind of all terrain. But it does move, so that's a bonus. Anyways, let's get this thing set up, and yeah, let's get inside. Okay, before we get this thing unpacked, we're going to start with what exactly it is. This is old discarded garage door panels, and the cool thing about these things is that they are, well, they're hard to recycle, so the recyclers don't necessarily like to take them, so they generally give them away for free. And what they are is a sandwich of metal and styrofoam and more metal, so it makes an ideal building material on its own. It's kind of like structurally stable. You can pack it up like Lego bricks and make it all stick together. So this thing, I've kind of pre-cut some of these panels, and I've put them on a sled. It's got some skis on the bottom of it, and then I strapped it down, and I've come to the edge of this river to put it together, and let's hopefully stay in it. All right, now that I got all the panels here, I got to actually run back and grab all of my tools. It doesn't require a lot of tools, but I didn't actually cut the door out of this thing because I wanted to kind of put it together on site and then cut the door in after. So I just got to grab those, and I've got some creature comforts that are going to go inside. Now, all of this stuff is actually going to be left behind for some lucky, or I wouldn't even say lucky individual. I would say some fortunate, I don't even know how to put that. Somebody's going to find this, and it's going to make their day a little bit brighter, because this is going to be a self-contained little shelter to get yourself out of the elements in the event that you don't have a home to live in. There's people living in tents everywhere. Every major city has their own little tent city. Quite frankly, it is gone a little crazy. Single family dwellings are like anywhere between like $800 to $1 million to purchase. There is people that just can't find a home. So I've come up with a solution. We're going to explore it a little bit today. I have come up with essentially a pop-up homeless shelter that is easy to assemble. It's made with readily available material. Some of these materials you can find, they're generally discarded, and we were going to reuse them and build ourselves a little bit of a shack, because as you guys know, if you guys have been looking through real estate these days, it's getting a little nutty out there, and sometimes, you know, situations put you in a bad situation, and you kind of have to sort of make do with what you have. You know, get yourself out of the elements, especially here in Canada when it gets like well below zero overnight. You kind of need yourself a shelter in order to stay alive. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to actually explore a pop-up homeless shelter that I'm going to be staying in. Anyways, let's get started. Let's get this thing assembled. Let's get it all put together, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a tour. In order to build my shelter, I first took all of the panels that I had brought, and I took the top panels off, and I was left with my two pentagon-shaped end walls. I took the end walls, stood them up. I added some self-tapping screws through the pentagon frame and screwed them into the base. And then once those were up, it was simply a matter of taking all of my end panels, starting from the bottom and lapping each subsequent panel over top of the bottom panel. Once the side panels are on, I focused on the roof. The roof went on much the same way. There was a little bit of a problem, which I didn't quite label the panels right, but once everything kind of lined up and gave it a little bit of a kick and a little bit of a jiggle, because you are using, you know, reused material, and sometimes it just doesn't fit right. So once I got that panel and everything figured out, and my overhang proper, then I just screwed them in like I did the wall panels, and then I can focus on my door. All right, so these are the type of screws I'm using. It's actually a, can you guys see that? Can you see that? It is a self-tapping, I think it's a roofing screw. They're designed to actually stick down like corrugated roofing material. I got them used. They were they got a little bit of rust in them, but they actually go through the panel quite nicely and into my wood substructure there. So I'll be able to screw them right in, and the panels themselves are pretty much self-supporting. You can walk on these. So as you can see, the structure assembled pretty darn quick. So that's the thing. Now I just got to keep a door, and you can kind of hear how echoey it is in there, because it's pretty darn waterproof. It's designed in such a fashion that it should keep out any of the cold in the wintertime and any of the heat in the summertime, and make it a nice comfy place. Now I just gotta basically cut a door in and then actually put this panel back on, because I haven't quite figured out the door. So that's what I'm gonna do now in order to get in this thing, because, well, we're actually light fading. It gets really dark really quickly in the winter, so you kind of want your shelter set up before it gets dark. Otherwise you're just monkeying around in the dark, and nobody likes doing that. So let's get focused on the door, get that set up, and then we can start with our creature comforts. All right, it's door time. Oh, wait a second. It's door time. We're going to cut a hole in this section, because what I wanted to do is actually kind of flip up like, well, kind of flip up like that, and be part of the roof and the door, so I can just be able to crawl in. I'm not sure exactly how big. I probably want to make it like a human-sized opening. I don't know. What's it, like 3 feet? That's pretty comfortable. Actually, that's quite big. What have I got? I got 8 feet. 8-foot total span. So let's go 2 and 2. That gives me 4. 2.5. 2.5 feet. If I got 2.5 feet, mark myself a line. 2.5 feet. Tape measure function. 2'6". I want to be down. And when I'm cutting this, I'm not actually going to get into the rib. So this is where it joins. So I don't want to go down that far. So probably, actually, that's not a bad spot there. And how I'm going to cut it is with this guy here. This looks like an ordinary saw blade. It's actually not. It's a metal blade. It's made by a company called Diablo, and they make a blade that has it's some sort of carbide tip with like ceramic something or other. It's really fancy, and it can cut through like I-beams and stuff like that. It cuts this stuff like butter. I've had this guy in here for a really long time. Couple of little piano hinges for Princess Auto. I'm going to attach these guys in order to have this thing open up all at once before I finish cutting it, because otherwise it might get out of line. Well, it took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but let's give it a old college try to see if it's going to open. So I got my hinges, I got the thing screwed into that thing, I got this thing kind of, you know what, hindsight, I probably should have cut it like a pumpkin, so like, you know, it doesn't fall in, but maybe on version 2, you never know. So anyways, we can, it's got a built-in handle, and you just kind of open it up like that. Like that's, and it sits up top. Oh, look at all the room for activities in here. We got our basic structure all done. I'm just gonna actually turn it around, because I want to be facing the creek area. A little river there, because that's prettier than just looking into the bush. So let's see how well it turns when it's fully assembled. Hopefully it turns a little bit better than when it was flat packed. Get my gloves on. All right, let's give this thing a little bit of a turn and see if we can get her a little bit leveler. Is that a word? Leveler? All right, close the hatch. Close the hatch. That fits too nice. Look how nice that fits. I like it. All right, let's turn it. Oh yeah, it's way easier to push. That's awesome. So when I designed it, I originally made it so it could go frontwards and backwards. Uh-oh, it's gonna go in the creek. Well, she doesn't turn that great. She'll turn though. Good thing it's almost darn near bulletproof. All right, before I get too far along, I want to seal in the ridge cap, because where the 2 points meet, there is a potential for leaking. So I've got this really good flexible tape. And it's got like, it's really sticky stuff. It's got a backing on it though. The alternative to this stuff is blue skin, but it's blue. You know what I mean? So this stuff here is super sticky. It's gonna seal out the water and wind and give you a little bit more air sealing. So that's the plan there. So along the ridge cap, if I can get up there. Huh, didn't think of that. Actually, maybe I'll stand on the wall. All right, we got that all sealed up, and let's focus on a fire while we do the rest of the inside. When I was walking in, I always kind of keep an eye on the riverbank because you never know what people throw into the riverbank. It's into the river, so I actually noticed there's what looks like a tire rim over here. They're gonna make a really good fire pit, especially when you're kind of dealing with winter situations like this. You got the kind of like the snow, so if you can get it up off the ground or something like that. Yeah, look at that. It is a tire rim. You see it? I don't know how it got washed up here. Oh. All right, so that there would probably make a really good fire pit. Is there anything else down here I can use? All right, so that there. Tire rim. All right, all set. There's actually a bunch of rocks. There's like a rock pile there. Be useful for maybe cooking around my fire pit to give me a little bit more warmth. So anyway, let's get this guy fired up. Get myself some nice warmth going. You know what? I always say, like, anytime you get a fire lit, it kind of makes the creature comforts a little bit better. That thing's gonna work just fine. Even got like a spot to put, like, you can rest it. Well, maybe I can get that a little bit more level. That works actually pretty good. Perfect. It's amazing what happens when you ask. I asked to put a little feeler out to see if anybody had like old blankets and stuff that they wanted to donate. That's actually really nice. I don't know what it is. I like the color. It's nice and purple. Throw that in there. That'll be that. What's that? I don't think we need that. That's a bed skirt. Pillowcases. Pillowcases. Do this. What do we got? We got curtains. Oh, look at these curtains. These are beautiful curtains. Curtains? I don't think we need curtains, but you know what? Might as well throw them in there. Because, you know, got everything. Oh, those are beautiful. Look at that. That's another pillowcase. Does anybody have those pillowcases? And what's this thing? Is that another pillowcase? Why would anybody sew a little hat onto a pillowcase? Anyways, there we go. Beggars can't be choosers, right? All right, so we got that. All right, so number two, we got a couple more blankets, and this is to make it most comfortable place ever. Be like a little nest. You can put a bunch on the floor and then kind of just curl up into it. So that's the plan. There we go. We'll just sort those out later while we're inside. We've got a spare coat. Somebody want to donate a spare coat, so we ended up we're not having a spare coat. So that's not even a nice ski jacket. Rip Zone. All right, so that's our jacket in case somebody needs a jacket. And we also have another special thing, something that I am going to include in this little cabin, is a pair of winter boots. Now, I know anytime I've ever gone to a thrift store or something like that to look for a pair of winter boots, I've never been able to find them. I'm not sure why. Nobody donates winter boots, so I ended up picking up a pair. Let me grab it. All right, so this is why I was saying whoever's going to find this is going to be their lucky day, because there's going to be a brand new pair of Baffin winter boots. I got these from Cabela's Bass Pro shops, and the only reason I got these, well, one of the reasons why I got these is because I've switched to Baffins because, well, I had some bad experiences with other winter boots. They were pretend winter boots. Baffins seem to be really good. So anyways, Cabela's Bass Pro, they've got Baffins. I'm wearing a pair of Baffins winter boots. They're very, very comfortable. So this is going to be in there. It's a size 10. I figure that'll cover a large population of people that have their feet. And yeah, so they're too big. Rated down to -70. Well, if it's -70, we got some other problems. So we're gonna throw those in there. It's like putting your foot in a cloud. So I'm gonna put those in there. That'll be somebody else's. Oh. All right. Okay, so we got that set up. I just don't want to get in a position where it's too dark out to do any of this stuff. So one more blanket I think I got in there. One more blanket, and then we can work on the inside when it gets a little darker and get all that sorted out. So that's the plan. I got a heater for inside, and I also have a solar panel for the roof because I have a is it a Vevor diesel heater that's going to heat this thing up to a very comfortable whatever the heck you want, because those things are really powerful. So that's the case, and because it's so well insulated, I think maybe body heat might just heat this thing up. So there seems to be a little bit more activity around here. Hey, there's people walking by. So do you want to be on camera? I didn't think so. All right. Anyways, so what I was saying is that yeah, I want to get this guy sorted out. I don't know what these people are thinking, but anyways, maybe we can get one on camera. Who knows? They probably don't want to be. I don't blame them. This is pretty comfy, actually. This is the first time I've been in here. It sounds cozy. It's actually it's less echoey now that all the blankets are in here. I should probably clean the floor. Anyways, all right. So I got my solar panel in. That's from the outside. I have an old charge controller, so this battery does not overcharge. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook that thing up, and then I'll hook it up to the diesel heater. And that's a Vevor diesel heater. I don't know what is it? 5 kilowatt. I guess that's the power. It's like a 5,000 watt electric heater. That should be more than enough to heat this place. So let's do that. Hook that guy up. The other thing about this is that you want to have obviously fresh air intake, and you also want to have the exhaust piped outside. Now, I don't have anything in the middle of this thing, so my plan is to actually go down and around. If you're choosing to install one of these things yourself, you should probably just have a look, make sure you've got some clearances and stuff. So there's the fresh air intake. So what it's going to do is actually uses combustion air from the outside. I'm going to poke a hole with that guy too. It's going to go right up the sidewall. And yeah, so that's the exhaust. That's that thing. So this, how about I hook this thing up and then I'll show you how it works. Because yeah. Yes, we're losing light. We're losing light quite quick. And yeah. Well, they're all hooked up. As you can see, I got 12 volts coming from the battery. Let's turn this thing on. You just hit the button. And we're going to put it on low, because I don't... Low. Alright. Put her on 1. Let her heat up. So it's going to heat up the glow plug. It says it's 2 degrees Celsius right now, which is slightly... just above freezing inside, which is not terrible. It's probably just because I've been in here. So the glow plug's going to run, and this thing you can either set your temperature in the room, or you can set it on 1 through 6. So this is on just low because I just want to see how she's going to go. And then there's a pipe here that allows you to direct your heat wherever you want to go. Or just, you know, take it right off. Most efficient. And then I got the charge controller wired in. It's not the prettiest thing. I can tuck those wires in. So anyway, she's fired up now. Oh, she's... The good thing about this is it doesn't have to prime, because the actual oil tank is sitting right in there. By oil, I mean diesel. So it's diesel powered. So there's a couple of liters of diesel in there that'll heat for a long time. So as it goes, just clicking away here. It's going. It's primed. There you go. We got heat. All right, we're starting at 2 degrees. Let's see where we can get to. We'll just turn. Maybe we'll turn it up. Okay, we can have it a high of. I think if you go to, now we're on high. All right, so high. We're on a 6 full tilt, and we'll see what we'll get to. I got to. My fire looks like it's ready to rock. I'm gonna cook my breakfast. We'll close the latch, and we'll see how warm we get. should have brought a floor mat of some kind to put out front so you can take your boots off and get in. It doubles as like a slidey chair, that plastic thing, so your bum doesn't get wet. So actually worked out okay. I got a slidey chair now. I'm just trying to get my dinner sorted. Imagine if you're here any length of time, you'd be able to get a better setup. Kinda, we're on day 1, so we don't really have everything set up. So I got the dinner at Champions. I got some hot dogs. Hot dog! Let's sit over there. That'd be perfect. That tire rim actually really came in handy. It's actually radiating a lot of heat out here. That heater, I'm actually really impressed with that heater. It's with the door open, it's like 6 degrees in there. And the only reason I'm keeping the door open is because so you guys can see it's providing a little bit of light. But I got a little flashlight magnet to the top. That's the good thing about the building, is it's all made of metal, so everything magnet, you can just stick things everywhere if you wanted to. It's like a giant fridge in there. Actually, it kind of is like a cooler. There's never the right side of the fire to sit on. All right, I think my hot dog's done. Didn't take long. It's got all that heat radiating back up towards it. Round one of hot dogs. I don't know why hot dogs taste better in the forest. I got quite a few. Although I only got 6 buns. Got a dozen hot dogs, only 6 buns. That's strange. I remember there used to be 8 buns. Now there's only 6. I couldn't imagine being homeless. I think I would just I'd probably find a place in the forest where nobody came and I would build something. Kind of like what I did. But I kind of built this off-site. Given enough time and enough urgency, I'd build an own house. Actually, I hear up north there actually there's starting to be little encampments off the side of the highway, which is like the Trans-Canada Highway. People are just kind of stopping on the side of the highway and just going into the forest a little bit and starting basically to squat and building like a little community there. So there's I don't know where they get their stuff. I imagine they're like trucking it in or something like that, but really they're just creating themselves a little community there. And I guess at that point you're not homeless, you're just kind of squatting in the forest. This is my cold weather hack for winter camping. You know how you have a really cold, my hands actually are steaming, but if you have a really cold rag, so I dip this in the creek water, put it over the fire. Ideally you have flames, but it won't catch it on fire, it'll just heat it up, and it'll heat it up really, really fast. So what you want to do is just put it as close, like roasting a hot dog sort of thing, and it makes that really cold, frigid water, especially like if you're like ice fishing or something like that, and you have really cold water coming out of that hole. If you've got a rag, you can heat up water really, really quick, and then you don't have to have freezing water when you're washing your hands or washing your face or washing something. So like that, look at. So now we have a hot, steamy towel. It's like luxurious living in the booth. You could wash face. Anyways, you get a nice warm towel. Anyways, it's getting dark, getting late. I've been sitting here for quite a bit. My fire's pretty much done. I'm gonna go inside, warm up, get that all set up because, well, it's almost bedtime. Got a floor mat for inside. It's my next plan. Take my boots off outside and kind of bring them in afterwards because I don't want my boots sitting outside. Bang them off, bring them in, and they're all set. Close my door. There we go. We put a latch on that so I can lock it from the inside. That's actually pretty good. We got 12 degrees in here so far. It's already crazy warm in here. It's 13 degrees, which I guess that's close to crazy warm. Oh, I got water in here. That's water from the snow when I brought this stuff in. So I got my rag. I'm like, why is it so cold on the floor? And I stepped in a puddle of water. All right, what I did is I actually installed a bunch of hooks so I can hang my stuff out. Get it up off the ground. So the idea behind this thing is it sleeps two. So like side by side, it's 8 feet long. So, and it's just over 4 feet wide. So you can, it's cozy. You don't want it too big, right? Really what I'm doing is actually testing it out to see how well it works. Well, I got it all set up. This thing's super cozy, like super cozy. I got like a t-shirt. It's like t-shirt and shorts weather in here. It's amazing what that heater, like, it's like cheating. Like that's why like they say oil heat is one of the best heats if you ever heat your home. Like home heating oil is the way to go if you want fast heat. Where it says 20 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in freedom units. I think it's actually like, it's probably like 70 degrees in here. And it's not even like completely sealed up. So there's still like the cracks in the ceiling where we're getting some fresh air in. So it's not ideal you don't have it completely sealed anyways, because you want some oxygen. That's a good thing. I think I'm gonna drop some other stuff off to this thing, probably like a carbon monoxide detector, just to be safe. It probably should have one because you have a fuel burning appliance in here. The idea behind this thing is actually I'm gonna heat it up and turn it off. There's a moth. There's a moth that woke up. I was thinking, you know, a bottled water is probably important. You want some water, and then I got a case of these the other day, which is like hand sanitizer wipes. Because you know what, I think it's important. It's important to have like a way to clean. Have you guys ever seen one of these little knives? It's actually cool. This is the I think this is the Tux XL from Tactical Keychain. You guys can see that. What's cool about it is it's magnetic, so you can just kind of stick it to the wall. I might actually leave that in here because it's not really, it's useful. It's useful for when you're in here. The little hole on that thing isn't quite big enough to actually let the things come out, and I think that's why they were so cheap. I think I got a case. I like it, literally a case for $1. Some dried goods, like food goods, sort of like non-perishable items, just to kind of, you know, stock it. So, you know, you have something to eat. They're gonna decide what happens with those. Heck, they could pawn them for all I know. Heck, this whole thing could get pawned. I don't know. The heater's screwed down. The battery is really heavy to lift. Tuck XL. That's kind of cool. Oreo cookies. You guys want an Oreo cookie? That would make you feel better. There is a way to take those diesel heaters and actually turn them down to like mountain, and it's designed for higher elevations, and you can actually slow the pulse rate down. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. It's getting hot in here. I think I'm gonna just turn the heater off and just see how long I can retain my temperature. It's 25 degrees. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, it took us a few hours. You know what the fun part about in this cabin is there's no cell service when the door is closed. So you have to actually open the crack a little bit to get cell service in here. That's mildly interesting. It's like a Faraday cage. Yeah, it's maintaining temperature at 23 degrees with it being like 2 degrees outside. So it's been like I said, a couple hours, and I had the door open a couple times. I actually stepped out and then I came back, and it's 23 degrees. So I don't know if everything is just warmed up. I'll see you guys probably in a moment. You guys won't have to wait, but I will give you an update on how the sleep goes. They're still 23, 22, 23. It's just, it goes back and forth. I don't know why it's going up and down. That's just strange anyways. So that's very comfortable weather in here. And if it does go too cold, just turn it on, warm it up, and then go back to bed. Anyways, I will say goodnight, and I'll see you momentarily. I don't want to turn any lights on, but there was something I could hear. I could hear outside. There was like walking. I could hear voices, and then I don't know if they stopped and they were talking. I couldn't really hear them that well. And then they walked away. So I don't know. I didn't want to turn any lights on. I don't know what time is it. What time is it? Hang on. Who walks by the creek at 2:30 in the morning? That's insane. this guy over here. I haven't, oh, what's this? Excuse me. Oh. Well, that was, after all the excitement, that was pretty much the best sleep I've ever had in a cabin. This is like the comfiest, quietest, little coziest cabin. It's 12 degrees in here, which isn't terrible for sleeping. 12 degrees Celsius. I don't know. I think it's going to serve its purpose well to act as kind of an emergency shelter for anybody that needs it. And anyways, this one's going to sit here. See what the weather looks like. Watch, there's like 3 feet of snow outside and I can't get out. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this one. Join me on the next one. Well, that's a beautiful view to wake up to.